Before the video starts, I just want to tell you guys to please subscribe to the channel for more NBA content like this. I post 2 videos a week on all things NBA basketball, so if that's something you're interested in, I would appreciate the support. Also, please be sure to leave a like on the video. That helps a lot with helping this channel grow. Anyways, back to the video. The Western Conference playoff race is one that could be historic. The play-in tournament for that final playoff spot solidified just how competitive this conference is, and also the fact that there isn't one strong answer for who will succeed the most in the West, unlike the last few years. You have so many teams that have plenty of all-around talent, and there could be a case to make for many teams for who will be the king of the West. I already did my first round predictions for the East, so you can check that out if you haven't already. The link will be in the description. So for this video, I'm going to give you my first round playoff predictions for the Western Conference. I did have to put a little more thought into these as opposed to the East predictions, so I already know that I'm going to be wrong in some way, but these are just my initial predictions and they're just my opinion. The battle for the West is going to be exciting to watch, and I can't wait to see what happens. With that being said, let's not waste any more time. Here are my first round predictions for the West. Yeah, there was no way Damian Lillard would come into the bubble and not make the playoffs. I mean, what an incredible run so far for the dude. He's hands down the MVP of the bubble. Every time I would watch the Blazers, I would just be in awe of how amazing Dame is, especially in that game against the Nets. I mean, the Nets were up 7 going into the 4th, and they actually looked pretty good, and it looked like they were going to win. But I also knew that Dame time was approaching, and sure enough, it came. And once he pulled it from half court and made it, I knew then that the Blazers were going to go to the playoffs. That's also not to mention that CJ McCollum is playing with a messed up back. And I just don't know how he's doing it, but I also hope that this doesn't have any long-term effects. Also, the Carmelo Anthony redemption arc is insane. I mean, think about it. Man was out of the league, got a short opportunity with Portland, he showed out, and now Mr. F out of here, I got it, is in the playoffs again. It's just been great to watch the Blazers play, and now they can give the Lakers a run for their money. However, LeBron James is back in the playoffs after not making it last season, so you know he is going to go off because that's just what he does in the playoffs. Yeah, the seeding games were definitely rough and he was not playing well at all, but to be fair, they didn't really matter for the Lakers anyway. This is also Anthony Davis's first time on a real contending team, so I think that he will also show off for this Lakers team because he knows the ultimate goal is at the end of the day to win the championship. I just hope that the duo doesn't get completely burned out and that the other Lakers are also contributing significantly because they're going to need that if they want to win. Kyle Kuzma needs to play like he did against Denver. Danny Green needs to actually make some damn shots, and there's going to need to be another point guard to step up big time while Rondo's out. I think this will be a very fun series to watch, and I'm excited to see the Lakers finally back in contention again. I think each game will come down to the wire, but when it's all said and done, I think LeBron and AD will be too much for Portland. So with that being said, I have the Lakers taking this series, and I think they'll do it in 5 games. Luka Doncic has shown in his second season that he is a superstar that will continue to only get better, and the things he's doing at 21 years old is incredibly impressive. I don't even need to talk about the stat line, you just know how much he's grown in the past year. And the thing that makes this Mavericks team better this year is that they have a healthier Kristaps Porzingis, and this is a Mavericks team that I have no doubt will be a top championship contender in the coming years. The unfortunate part for them right now though is that they're taking on the LA Clippers in the first round, and the way that team is set up, they are designed to make people like Luka's life miserable. I mean, he'll have to deal with people like Kawhi, Paul George, and Patrick Beverley going after him, and he's going to need to put up even more ridiculous numbers for the Mavs to have any chance. Kristaps will also really have to step up for this team to win. Against the Clippers, Luka has put up an average of 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists, which is good, but his shooting wasn't great, and he committed a total of 15 turnovers in those 3 matchups. With the strong defensive presence that the Clippers have, I just don't see them giving up this series, especially since they're on a championship run. They're going to want to end this series quickly so they can move on. The Dallas Mavericks are a team for the future, no doubt, but for right now, I do think that they're going to need more playoff experience. So with that being said, I do have the Clippers taking this series, and I also think they'll do it in 5 games. If you're a fan of the big man in the NBA, pause, then this is a series that could play out to be pretty interesting. You have the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Rudy Gobert going up against Nikola Jokic, who has gotten better year after year. In the regular season, the Nuggets won all 3 games against the Jazz, and in those games, Jokic averaged 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists while shooting 56% from the field. However, when Gobert is matched up with him, he holds Jokic to 49%, which makes this big man battle interesting. Another X factor for the Nets, and a guy who has played extremely well in the bubble, is Michael Porter Jr. He's averaged 22 points a game while shooting 55% from the field. Him stepping up is huge for the Nuggets because now they have an extra scoring option on top of Jokic and Murray. Oh yeah, how could I forget about the greatest of all time, Bol Bol? I do think that having these options will make it hard for the Jazz to keep up, considering their main options are just Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, and they don't have Bojan Bogdanovic, which is a big blow. I didn't talk much about the Jazz because I just don't see any realistic chance of them winning this series, but I do think that they can make the games close. So with that, I have the Denver Nuggets taking this series in 6 games. I was hoping that this series would happen, and now it's here, and it's going to be interesting. Watching Harden and Westbrook take on their old team, a team led by Chris Paul that, in the beginning of the season, had a 0.8% chance of making the playoffs, and now they're a top 5 team in the West. It's just a great storyline. There is one big question though. How long will Westbrook miss with his quad injury? They're saying that he's going to miss, quote, a few games, and his return is going to depend on how he responds to the treatment. With Russ missing time, that gives the Thunder the upper hand in my view. Now, do I see them completely stopping the scoring machine James Harden? I don't. However, I look at both lineups and I can see ways that the Thunder can take advantage. I think a lot of this series will come down to just how each bench performs in the games, because I think that will sway the series in one way or the other. Westbrook being out gives Chris Paul a great opportunity to take advantage, and if he can continue to do what he's done this year and what he's done in previous playoffs, he will have a great series. Also, Steven Adams should be able to do really well considering the Rockets small ball lineup. They just don't have somebody to really lock him up, so Adams should have a great series as well. I really like my chances if my team had people like Chris Paul, Dennis Schroeder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, and Steven Adams. I just don't see how the Rockets without Russ can stop that group. If Westbrook was healthy this whole series, then this would be a completely different conversation. But with him missing what looks like the first 2 to 3 games, and there not being any home court, I like the Thunder in this series. Now look, I might look back at this a couple weeks later and realize how stupid I was. James Harden will probably just score his way to give the Rockets the win. But with the way I see things right now, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking this series, and I think that they'll be able to pull it off in 6 games. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like. Also, comment down below who do you think will move on from the first round, and also let me know how you feel about my predictions. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more NBA content like this. The NBA playoffs are finally here, and I hope you're excited because I know I am. Also, be on the lookout for my next video where I talk about my 5 top players in the bubble. I think that'll be an interesting video, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the continuous support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.